Welcome to Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Dan, biggest day of the World Cup so far.
That's right. 6 games on the pitch, Andy. And we're going to get you breakdowns in all of them. Bryan Power is going to give you best bets in 2 of them. So how are you betting match day 3 on the pitch? We got you covered here on Wager Talk Today. Also, solid WNBA slate. Skee is going to give you some winners in that. That's right. Skee Profit is here. But Andy, yesterday, Dinger Tuesday. We got to announce some winners because the dingers were flying and flopping all over. So congratulations to the dingers in the chat. Andy, it's 30 seconds into the show. That means the play of the day that we cashed yesterday, it now sits 32-21. A free client play to start the show. All we ask you to do, like, subscribe. Andy, we're staying on the diamond. What are we doing?
All right, we're going to go to the category that was kind to us yesterday, the hits, runs, RBIs. We're going to go with Tyler Soderstrom. This is Athletics Giants. This is just a fade of Molly. This pitcher has struggled absolutely mightily. 56.2 innings, 63 hits given up, 38 earned runs, 11 of those homers. And this is an Athletics team that they're kind of feast or famine with their runs scored. They're either going to score 1 or 0, or they've randomly popped for 7, 12, 5, 9, 5. So against a bad pitcher, I think this has got the potential for them to pop. Soderstrom is batting cleanup, so he should have some base runners in front of him. And he's been really good. It's gone over this total in 7 out of 10 games. So we get a batter that's playing well. We get a pitcher that is not pitching well. Good cleanup spot here. So let's go back to over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
It was kind to us yesterday. The guy that we gave out yesterday, we had multiple people say, give me him for Dinger Tuesday, and we had winners in that. So by the end of the show, we'll let you know who won their free day flex passes. They'll be added to your account by the end of the show. But Andy, you mentioned it at the top here, man. Match day 3. So things change here in the World Cup. Now it will have concurrent games. We kick off in Canada's group here with Switzerland and Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina. And they'll be taking on, of course, Qatar. And Qatar finally get a goal here? We'll see. But Andy, it's a fun day here today, simply because you got those games running back to back, and you're going to see it's a little bit different today. I think today, more than ever, is going to be, and moving forward here through group play, is live betting. I think you have to see how a team comes out, how they approach. Are they going to be sitting back in their own third? Are they going to aggress? There are teams that we know heading into this, they need a win, or they need to win by margin. Or in the case of what's happening in Brazil's group, there's teams that need to keep margin and stave off the team sitting behind them. So a lot of intriguing ways to attack these games. We have a best bet up now that goes at 3. So you can go grab that before the game goes, Andy. But I'm pumped for today, man.
Yeah, I had a same game parlay in the Colombia game yesterday, and it was over 1.5. And the amount of scoring chances and the amount of goals called back from Colombia was really infuriating, but a good call on the money line for clients on that one. We also hit our $5 Tuesday play in Major League Baseball. Awesome job on that one. And we got our $5 play that goes off later today and then one tomorrow. So a lot of momentum coming into this Wednesday.
Yeah, and we need it, man. So let's get a little run going, a positive run here. It all starts on $5 Tuesday. But speaking of positivity, let's bring in our man, BP, a beacon of joy and love for all. And BP, how are we doing, brother? And more importantly, how's your stomach? If you guys forget, we had Bryan Power on the show. He mentioned he had a bet with our friend Mark Zinno on the Morning Wager that you can catch on Picks and Parlays and here at Wager Talk. You had to eat 12 tacos live on a show, buddy. How'd it go?
About as well as eating 12 tacos on the internet can go, I suppose, Dan. I made it to 11, and I just looked at Mark Zinno right in the eye and said, I'm not eating this last taco. I don't feel well. And I'll be honest with you, I still don't feel well. Dan, BP ass is on fire is what they're saying on the chat. Well, it's one way to put it. But, hey, it was all in good fun. People can check that out. That was Tuesday's edition of the Morning Wager. As Mark Zinno and I always aim, Dan, as you know, to educate and entertain, not necessarily, though, in that order. So,
well,
there we go.
here's what I'm just wondering is our friend Blocked, he's mentioning that BP's ass is on fire. He may just be talking about the run you've been on, dude. 4-0 in the World Cup right now, baby. 8-1 over the last 5 days. So your ass is on fire in multiple different ways. So let's get into some of these games here, man. This is one that I didn't want to bet pre-flop simply because I think the pricing here is telling you a lot. What a lot of casual fans probably going to say, Canada just won 6-0, and I'm getting plus 237 or better on the money line. Oh, my goodness, we got to bet the Canucks up north. They got the home field advantage. However, they're kind of signed, sealed, delivered, at least getting into the next round. However, BP, the fly in the ointment is where they finish at and who they will be playing in the next round. So I think this is a pretty interesting handicap, but nothing for me side-wise. Total, you're looking at it juiced under. So how do you look to attack this one, man?
Yeah, this is a tough match to break down, but I'm going to give you a few different angles here to consider. It's not 100% official, guys, but both these teams likely moving on to the knockout stage. This match is going to determine who finishes first in Group B. All Canada needs is a draw as they have the better goal differential. Because of that, Switzerland will need to win here in order to finish top of the group. Finishing first, you mentioned this, Dan. It's a pretty big deal. Whoever does will not only face a third place side in the round of 32, but if you're Canada and you finish first, that's potentially huge because not only would they play their round of 32 match in Vancouver, but if they were to advance from there, I believe the round of 16 match would also be in Vancouver. So they would not have to leave the home country. So who wins here? Well, Dan, I think you and I have both established it's kind of a hard call here. And to that point, I kind of like the draw around plus 200 right now. Canada would be happy with the draw. Something to remember here, yes, you mentioned the 6-0 win for Canada over Qatar. Qatar, depends where you're from in the world, how you want to pronounce it. Regardless, it's a bad side that was down 2 men by the end of the match. So 6-0, yes, looks impressive on the score sheet. But again, it's a terrible team they were up against that was down 2 men. And something to remember is prior to defeating Qatar, Canada had never won a World Cup match in history. Of course, they did earn a point in the opener, drawing Bosnia 1-1. Pretty similar path for Switzerland. They drew Qatar 1-1 in the opener. They conceded in stoppage time there. That was a little bit of heartbreak hotel. May come back to bite them in terms of winning the group. But then the Swiss bounced back, a convincing win. They bounced back just like Canada did in the second match. It was a 4-1 win over Bosnia for Switzerland. Bosnia was also down to 10 men by the end of the match in that one. Again, just really hard for me to pick a side in this one. I do think there is a little bit of value betting the draw. Again, Canada's fine with that result. Switzerland, for what it's worth, they've never lost a match to a CONCACAF side in its World Cup history. I also, and I don't know how I feel about this. Someone in the chat says, let's just get BP in here to tell us to bet both teams to score in this match. Well, I was going to do that. I don't know. Am I getting predictable on this program? What's going on with that? I saw that in the chat. I think there is some value here on both teams to score. Look, this is a prop that was cashing at a record-setting pace to start the tournament, Dan and Andy. Obviously, if you're new to soccer, but by this point, you've figured this out, but you bet both teams to score. You obviously need both teams to score 1 goal. That cashed in 19 of the first 26 matches in this World Cup. That was a historic rate, over 70%. Since then, it's cashed in only 6 of the last 22 matches, including none of the 4 yesterday. I will point out, Dan and Andy, I was on 3 of those 6 that did cash both teams to score during this 4-0 run I'm on. But minus 135 odds here, I think both teams to score is worth a shot. These are 2 of the top 3 teams in expected goals. Both teams to scores cashed 7 of Switzerland's last 8 overall.
Yep.
The key is they have not conceded a first half goal in any of the last 5. Switzerland. So it's interesting that the 2 they've conceded in the World Cup both came in stoppage time in the second half. Canada, they've scored 7 of the last 8 matches overall. So I threw a lot at you. I'm going to stop babbling here. This is the bottom line. I think this reeks of a 1-1 draw, if you want to get real specific. That's my prediction here for Switzerland and Canada.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And honestly, BP, with this match, you're going to know quite early on if these 2 teams kind of gave each other the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, let's just draw this match. Because essentially they draw, they're both into the knockout stage. Either of these teams lose, then they're scoreboard watching in that Bosnia and Qatar game, and you're watching, does Bosnia beat Qatar, which they're expected to do? And this Bosnian side, while they haven't racked up goals, so you could be looking at under in that game as well, they have been competitive. They have shown an ability to score, and I would argue Qatar or Qatar, whatever you want to say, you can name them anyway. They're still probably the worst team in this tournament, in my opinion. So
yeah, them or Haiti. I would say I expect, but obviously in the 3-way line, odds reflect this. I do expect Bosnia to win that match. So yeah, I mean, again, these two teams finish level. They're first and second. So finishing second is better than finishing third, obviously, needless to say. Just that way.
Absolutely.
So Switzerland will take it. I just think it reeks. I don't have a bet on this. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually passing on the World Cup today, despite the 4-0 run. But it just, I don't know. To me, it reeks of a 1-1 draw. I think Canada has some injuries. No Ishmael Kone, by the way, makes him a little weaker on paper defensively. And it'll be interesting to see if Davies plays as well. He's dealing with a hamstring injury.
For our friends north of the border and wherever you're tuning in on, WT.buzz/AL does have a play in this game. Our man Andy Lang. It is nothing on the side, but something you might want to go and check out. All right, BP, need to get your thoughts on this one because, again, an interesting situation. Mexico were the first team to punch their ticket to the round of 32, won both of their opening matches. However, I don't know about you. I haven't been overwhelmingly impressed by Mexico personally. I think they have exceeded, or they met expectations, at least for me. Now they play Czechia, who they need a win to even stay alive here and hope something else happens during their game as South Africa is taking on South Korea. So the Czechs need some help. Lost with them alongside many folks did on that Czech money line as they were taking on South Africa. So I'm a glutton for punishment. I almost want to go Czechia on the double chance here, BP. What are you thinking about this Mexico and Czech game?
Well, I do have a clear preference in terms of the side here. I actually think Mexico wins and makes it a perfect 3-for-3 in Group A. I get they're already guaranteed to finish first in the group, Dan. So from a motivation perspective, I think there's going to be a lot of bettors flocking to Czechia. I just have no desire to bet against this Mexico side playing in Mexico City. El Tri have yet to concede a goal in the World Cup. Okay, it's small sample size still, 2 matches, but you go back to the start of 2026 and you include the last 8 international friendlies. Mexico's not lost any of the last 10 matches. They've won 8 of them, only 2 goals conceded. Simply put, in front of the home folk, I think Mexico's going to play to win here and finish perfect in the group. Now, you talked about it, Dan. Czechia desperately needs the result today. They actually just need to win. 2 points likely won't, if they draw here, 2 points likely won't be enough to get in the knockout stage. It has been a disappointing start to the World Cup for Czechia in the sense that they've scored first each of the first 2 matches. You talked about the Heartbreak Hotel against South Africa, Dan, where they concede the late penalty to finish 1-1. They scored first against South Korea in the opener. They end up losing there 2-1. So just 1 point to show for it after you score first in both matches, really disappointing. But, the motivation is baked in this number as we look at the odds screen. Okay. I talk about this all the time, and I'm sure you guys do as well in a variety of sports. Must win does not necessarily equal will win, guys. And as you guys know, I bet on soccer throughout the year, glued into all the major European leagues. And towards the end of those, European league seasons, something I always harp on is this must win tax. We see teams facing relegation. Oh, they must win. This team must win. And they're playing a team in the middle of the table or even at the, towards the top that's got nothing to play for. And you wind up getting a good price on what is the better side. And I think Mexico's better side here. So must win does not equal will win. I don't think Czechia will win. I think they're going home. Mexico makes it a perfect 3-for-3 in the group stage.
Yeah, that result certainly wouldn't surprise me. I mean, even with nothing to play, they still do have home fans to play for. One thing I would say, BP, as far as the Mexican side and the dominance that they've had, let's also not be agnostic to the fact that they were outpossessed by South Korea. They were outshot by South Korea. The only problem was South Korea couldn't hit water falling out of a boat in that game. Of their 9 shots,
they should have. They absolutely should have conceded. South Korea, you look at them. I mean, but to your point, South Korea should have probably scored more than they did against Czechia as well. I mean,
Great
South
point.
Korea is maybe one of those teams. It's not as egregious as say Turkey or Ecuador, but they struggled to find the back of the net.
I'm right there with you. We can go head to head, but I don't feel strong enough to Czechia to make it interesting with you and the chat here, as Andy likes to do. BP, what do you got rocking tonight for the clients? It has been a great run, as I alluded to when you came here on the show. 8-1 over the last 5 days, 4-0 in the World Cup. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you're feeling good about a baseball play tonight, BP. What do you got?
Yeah, we got a really rare 5% MLB total. I've been on WagerTalk now for where's the time go? 4 years. Okay. And in those 4 years, I've released just 5% MLB totals. And I've won them all. Dan, unless if they've changed the rules of math on me, I don't think it gets any better than 100%. So very proud of that perfect 5-0 record. And it just so happens, guys, it's just not 5% totals. We're number one this season with all MLB totals, up over 40 units with them. This is not just my first 5% total of the MLB season. It's my first 5% play, period, of the MLB season. You mentioned the 8-1 overall record, Dan. We've lost the one loser, unfortunately, was the $5 one on Tuesday, but still, I'll take 8-1 over the last 5 days. We are 73-46 since April 17th. And I've got a code for you guys. Let's pay attention. Let's write this down. Get a pen and paper. Oh, there you go. You don't even need a pen and paper. Just look at your screen. BP50. You can take 50% off my 5%er with that code. BP50. BP, that's like Bryan Power, Dan.
How'd you come up with that? That's astute out of you. Even with 11 tacos in your stomach, you're still able to put that together, my friend. So,
yeah, you know.
Hey, BP, it's always a pleasure, man. Keep that run going. Best of luck on that 5%er. And next time we talk to you, eat a little less ground beef before you come on. All right, you were still in form. Don't get me wrong. But I know you probably need to go and lay down, buddy. So
I'm sinking a little bit. I feel I'm not as high up above my name as I normally am. The belly's pushing me down. By the way, good people in the chat here today. We had some good references. We had a Lemoyne reference in the chat. That's an old school person who follows me on Wager. Anytime you're referencing the lovely ladies of Lemoyne.
Yes, the lovely ladies of Lemoyne and the king of them all, Bryan Power. WT.buzz/BP. Make sure you use that code BP50. That's BP50. Take 50% off his first 5%er of the season. Andy, some good soccer breakdowns there from our man BP. I can't convince you to waste your hard-earned money on Czechia again tonight, right? They burnt us once. We move on.
Yeah, there's just some better spots on the card. We'll go through all the games. I got some small little picks in each one of them, but
cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it with Czechia anymore. I honestly, our play that we had up for sale yesterday, and you can still get it today, is like one of our favorite plays of the tournament. So I'm just locked into that one, and if that one cashes, I'm probably good for the day. I've got a little
right there
my same game. Yeah, my same game parlay of the day. So. We had the NBA draft last night, Dan, and no surprises really. No big oh my gosh, social media is a buzz because of so-and-so being traded. So I'm wondering, are teams just a lot smarter now these days? Like even your typical bad teams that screw this up the whole time, they're just not making these egregious mistakes like taking Olawokandi as your number one pick, or things like this. Like we might have to spice up the draft at some point, right? Like how do we?
Well, they get to make all their mistakes in free agency, right? You get to sell every asset that you have to get Giannis to come to South Bay. So why would you need to make mistakes on draft night when you can make trades like that?
When you can sign Trae Young to a 4-year, $212 million deal. Like, why would
we need to get Skee's thoughts on some of this stuff, man? It's a good day to have him on for sure.
I had one way to kind of just spice up the draft.
How's that?
If your team doesn't have a first round pick, your GM has to be there giving out the picks live on camera. He has to host.
That's a nice wrinkle. That's a nice
that way
little
teams
wrinkle.
Like my Pacers that trade away the 5th overall pick, there's a little punishment for the GM.
Yeah.
Now the GM just gets to hide
get a little
in the corner.
booed.
Same with the Colts. We traded away 2 picks for a Sauce Gardner who's hurt. There should be some kind of punishment on draft night for teams that have traded away all their picks. And if the trade
very
worked,
Indiana coded. This feels very Indiana coded.
But if your trade worked, the GM gets to take his victory lap. Like, see, we won the championship. We traded away the picks. Who needs these picks? But then, like, if you screwed it up, now you got to sit there and you got to take it like a man. So,
well, if they were able to do that, they probably wouldn't be GMs, Andy. It's a lot of thin skin in that industry.
Yeah. I guess Mara going to the Thunder was kind of an interesting one. People are saying, oh, they did that to stop Wemby. I don't know if that's exactly why, but maybe Hartenstein's leaving. Who knows? But let's bring on Skee. Let's get his thoughts on the draft last night. So Skee, happy Wednesday. What'd you think of the draft last night? I thought it was pretty standard, no surprises, and I kind of turned it off once we got to the 10th pick.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing a little bit there. But what you were saying about Mara, I kind of, I think they did get him for Wemby just because you saw how poor Chet was versus Wemby. It's like Wemby has Chet's soul. So they need somebody, to try to give him some problems because you're going to have to go through the Spurs in the West for the near future. So I do like that pick from the Thunder. Other than that, I feel so sorry for Acuff. He has to go be, over there with the Sacramento Kings where careers go to die. Hopefully he can get traded and make it out eventually. Kingston Flemings, I'm a big fan. No secret that I like University of Houston. I like the team that Atlanta has. I think that he can be a good fit over there as well. In the top 2 picks, I think they went in the right order as far as fit and who I think deserve to go first. So that's what I think so far.
Yeah, we'll be interested. It's just going to be fascinating if Darren Peterson's troubles in college are just going to be fixed. I mean, people forget Steph Curry had real ankle issues.
Yeah.
Once the NBA got a hold of him and he had real trainers, they taught him how to move differently. Now he's like one of the most durable guys with the most insane cardio. So it's amazing the difference between the college staffs and the pro staffs and how they can fix some of these problems. So listen, if the Utah, here's another question for you before we get to the WNBA. Are the Utah Jazz, I'm not saying they're a contender. I'm just saying this is really good playoff roster. This is a playoff roster, in my opinion.
They look really good. They'll probably be undervalued to start. You can probably cover a lot of games with them as dogs. I would say the Wizards probably a little undervalued too. We'll see. Maybe not as much as the Utah Jazz, but I think the Wizards should be really good too. So for the number 1 and number 2 pick, you don't have to go to necessarily bottom feeders this year.
Yeah. This will be a really, really good season. Last season I thought was a home run for the NBA. The playoffs, they got an insane playoff run from some teams. So see if they carry the momentum over. So let's talk WNBA though. We got a couple of teams to go over. Mercury versus Fever. Drama in the last game here, Skee. Mercury got blown out pretty much. The score did not indicate how big of an ass kicking that was. They're just 3-11 the last 14 games. And I was looking up their stats. It's not like they're just awful on defense or awful on offense. They're just kind of in the middle on they're not in the middle. They're kind of in the bottom of everything. But this is a Fever team they've had some trouble covering these games. 8.5 feels like a pretty big number here in a revenge spot. What do you see with this game?
First of all, whenever I hear that word, no matter how it's said, I think of our friend Dave Sherapan with the drama.
Drama.
Yeah, I miss that guy. This game, what you said about the Fever, like, yes, they haven't been playing the best basketball. Their defense hasn't been good. That's a big reason why they haven't been trustworthy to cover games. But this Mercury team's been playing really poor too. They're probably the most disappointing team in the season this year. Like, the roster is way better than they have 4 wins or something like that. They look pretty good in their last game versus Seattle. They played with, a big effort. It looked like everybody, came together and, said that we're going to get this game, but that was a storm. I mean, they've been able to do that a little bit versus some of these bottom feeders like that. Versus a team like Indiana, who at least is finding their offensive rhythm right now and is healthy. it's a little bit of a different task, and you absolutely have Indiana's attention after how chippy last game was. So I'm looking at this Phoenix injury report. They're now also down Natasha Mack. That'll hurt the defense. McConaughey's out. I don't have the depth necessarily. I think that the Fever can run them out the gym again. I mean, the Fever won by double digits, and they kind of took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. They didn't even shoot the ball well. I think they shot less than 30% from three. I think they can shoot a lot better. I would be betting the Fever here in this game. And as far as the total, I mean, the Fever started slow, right? They scored 6 points in the first quarter of their last game. They still won by double digits, and the total ended like 160 something. I would think that there's no slow start this time. The Fever absolutely are going to play with pace. They're number one all year, and they've been playing even faster lately. I think this is either over or Fever.
Yeah, Sophie went 0 for 5 from 3. She had 2 points. I have already bet her over 1.5 made threes tonight in a bounce back spot.
I love Sophie, and she's been hot. That's a good bet. You saw that. I know you saw that, right? I love that the clip from yeah, I love it. I love it. I love everything about it.
I got to be honest, Skee, she is winning over the locals here more than Caitlin Clark is. Like if you ask, like it was Caitlin in a landslide, but now if you asked everyone who they like more, it's like kind of like Sophie.
Sophie's pretty likable, man.
She's very
for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, but no, in all seriousness, Sophie hasn't gone 2 games in a row under that 1.5 3-pointer in quite some time. I think it's like 10 or 11 games. So I will be, I will be playing her until she hits a slump. So Dream and Valkyries. This Dream team is starting to click here at Skee. They've won 8 out of 10. And this is a crazy stat from the Valkyries. So they have 7 losses, and the last 5 of them are just to the Aces and the Lynx. Mm-hmm. They hold their own against these. Oh, yes, they do. So interesting line here. Atlanta minus 2.5, over under 166. You and I both like the Dream. I like the Dream here tonight. What do you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't be so fast to go to that side. I get that the Dream have been playing well. A lot of it has been since they made an effort to play with a lot more pace. Just to get some more easier shots than having to deal with, half-court defenses time and time again. And they look good doing it. They played the Fever twice. We've talked about how bad their defense is. I forget the other 2 games, but it could be a different situation, a different story here. Valkyries are one of the best defenses in the league. Valkyries like to play slow. Will the Dream be able to play that up-tempo style that they've been having success with? This could be one where it's kind of correlated here, Andy. If you like the Dream, you think they'll play faster, it could be an over. If you like the Valkyries, it's probably more a slower defensive game. And the one thing I will say, you should get a better shooting performance from the Valkyries. I think they shot like less than 20% from 3 in their last game. So if you do like the over, because I see a comment there saying give us a total on this game, Skee. If you do like the over, you can expect some positive regression from that side, and they should shoot better being at home. So I can say that for the total. And last but not least, as far as the side, just to play devil's advocate here, Andy, you have Coach of the Year, Natalie Nakase on Golden State side. They've lost a couple games in a row. They've had a couple of days off. I think you'll get a really good game plan and effort from that Valkyrie side.
All right. So Skee and I, a little bit of head-to-head action here. Should we do a 3-day pass? Let's do a head-to-head 3-day pass. This isn't a care to make things interesting, Skee, because I think you're wrong, but let's have a little bit of fun today. So after the show, in the comments section, not in the live chat, after the show, type if you like Skee and the Valkyries or the Dream. We're doing the spread. So you get 2.5 points with the Valkyries, you get the Dream minus 2.5. If you like Andy or Skee, get your WagerTalk name in there and we'll pick out a free 3-day pass. That'll make things a little bit fun here on a day packed with sports here. So Skee, you're one of our best WNBA cappers, if not the best. What do you have up for everyone this Wednesday?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do have a 5% play up for tonight, and I have been in good form. I won 10 of my last 11 bets in general. So far in 2026, I'm a little bit over 120 units positive in all basketball. So things are going well. Seeing the board clear right now. If you'd like to be involved, you guys come check it out over at WagerTalk. And also, if you want to hear about, the other 2 games that we didn't talk about here, I'll break them down with Rob Vino in a little over an hour. So you can check that out here on the channel as well.
All right, Skee and Rob Vino and Profit Picks. Go get that 5% best bet. Good luck on your bets today, Skee. Except the Valkyries.
Appreciate it. You too.
Unless that was his 5% play. Now I feel like
the head
utter asshole.
You never know. You never know. You never know, Andy.
So,
but hey, comment below regardless. We'll grade it at 2.5. So if you like the Atlanta side, comment with Andy. If you like the Golden State side, comment with Skee. You'll be entered in for a 3 free day flex pass as long as you include your WagerTalk username.
So we got 4% pack up. We got WNBA. We got MLB. We've got a play in soccer. So looking forward to that. We've also got that cricket play that goes off tomorrow. So best thing to do, though, we keep talking about it, the 3 days, get 3 for free. $69 get you 6 days worth of plays. Interesting UFC card. It starts at 9:45 a.m. It's overseas. So we got a bare knuckle fighting championship, which I did not get my BKFC credentials.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm so pissed.
It dangled that carrot in front of you.
I am so pissed. Like they're never around me. They never fight around me. So this was like my chance to go as a media member. So like, I'm just really, really thoroughly upset about that. Like, so I followed up with them, haven't heard back. So I guess I'll have to wait until they come to some other podunk town. They've just been fighting all over the place, and now I'm gonna have to drive somewhere.
Yeah,
so
that's bullshit. I mean, what do they care? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're platforming a sport that most people, they definitely don't know about. Some folks can't even bet it. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, I want to platform you. I want to stream live. I want to help you out. Some folks, they can't help themselves, Andy.
Well, all right, let's go over. You know what? Let's just go over the World Cup. We got a bunch of plays.
Like, what? I need to wash this. I need to wash this from my thoughts. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We broke down. Let me pull up the lines here. These are not bets, guys. These are just little thoughts. These are not client plays. Do with them what you will. I will not be held responsible unless they all win. Okay, let's go to they all win. I'm bragging a lot tomorrow.
Yes, then we are responsible. They all lose. We never bring it up again. I'm kidding.
No. All right. Bosnia, Qatar. I got both teams to score. These are not trustworthy defenses. You can make the case these are not trustworthy offenses, but I see a couple sloppy goals. So, thoughts on this one?
I don't know if both teams to score would be the way that I would be attacking it. I mean, I think the draw is certainly in play. Both of these teams, like this is, Steve Merrill likes to say, catch the falling knife, whatever. Like betting on either of these teams as a side is literally catching the falling knife. Over 5 matches for both of these teams, and neither of them have gotten a winning result in those over 5 matches. So, with Qatar, could they find a goal? I mean, you can't take anything out of the 6-0 loss to Canada. Number one, Canada was humming. It was their first ever win in the World Cup. And number two, Qatar got 2 players sent off in that game. So now, since they had red cards, they also can't play in this game. So an already really poor side is going to be missing 2 key cogs. I'm not excited about this Qatar side, but Bosnia too. It's not a team who I'm super enthused about. They have something to play for. They still they could still find a way to get in here, especially if they see this. If there isn't a draw in the Canada game, you're scoreboard watching, right? Because if there isn't a draw, if either of those teams lose and Bosnia beats up on Qatar, now you're talking about scoring differential being a tiebreaker because Bosnia was able to draw in their other 2 matches. So it's definitely, a couple things to think about there. Or they lost to Switzerland, sorry, but they drew against Canada, which keeps them alive. So both teams score maybe, but you're looking to bet Qatar if that's what you're looking to back. And I'm just not so sure if that side can get a goal against a Bosnian team who, they drew Canada 1-1. I don't know.
Yeah. Scotland, Brazil. I have Brazil to win plus under 3.5 goals. That gets me to minus 120. These Scotland games are just really, really low scoring affairs. Brazil doesn't need to make that big of a statement here. I think they get one, maybe two in, and then it's just kind of lockdown, survive in advance, if you will, type of game here. So little same game parlay, Brazil to win in under 3.5 goals, minus 120.
Okay, I don't hate that. I could see it kind of being a little bit cagier simply because this is a Brazil team who they're already very distractible, right? A lot of people are calling this the worst Brazil team in 2 decades. Is that something that they hear? You know what I mean? Is that something that they're listening to and they want to come out and they want to flex their muscles against a worse side like Scotland? Maybe. I just haven't seen it. This team doesn't have that killer instinct, Andy, right? You saw it in their last match. They scored 3 goals in the first half. The second half, they look like a completely different team, and they don't score again, and that game goes under. So really, there's nothing that I truly love in this one either, Andy. But if I was looking to bet it, I'd look to find some plus money, and I think you could find it on the both teams to score, yes. So even with, you're looking for that under, even if we get that 1-1 draw, that's certainly a result that's possible. We get this one. Brazil's clean sheet against Haiti, Andy, that was their first clean sheet in 2026 competition. So this is a team who
not good. Defense not good.
No, their defense certainly isn't, and they play with this like defensive malaise. So despite even getting Haiti all the chances that they had, Haiti only had 1 less shot than Brazil in that game. They weren't able to score. Can Scotland find a goal in this one? Yeah, maybe, which is why that both teams to score is plus money. Again, this your scoreboard watching in this one, because if you have a tie, or if Brazil, they're a big money line favorite, Morocco's a big money line favorite. If both those teams win, you're just talking about goal differential. So are they watching that scoring and Morocco's up 3-0 and all of a sudden Brazil is in a 0-0 tie and they have to start aggressing? Does that open it up to counterattack? Bunch of different ways, Andy. It's live betting for me, but if I had to bet it pre-flop, both teams to score, yes.
Morocco, Haiti. Morocco has struggled to score. I don't think they struggled today. Give me a little sprinkle on Morocco, over 2.5 on their team total. I know they haven't even scored 3 goals total, but this is a Haiti team that this is not happening. And this strikes me as a Morocco team that can make a statement here. They've got to draw, they've got to win, and they could put up a big number here. So Morocco over 2.5, not an offense that you want to back all the time to score a bunch of goals. I think they get to 3 here.
Not an offense you want to back, Andy, but certainly a defense you want to back. And it's against a Haiti team that, are they just limping into match day 3 knowing, hey, we were happy to be here? Maybe not. Maybe they aggress, but they're playing a Moroccan side who's only conceded twice in their last 5 games. This is a very stout side. They get that 1-1 draw against Brazil. Scotland game was a little bit cagier, but they had some chances in that one. For me, Andy, could you see that 3-0 scoring line? Definitely, but why not just attack it? Morocco win to 0. I think a 1-0 win they're fine with. 2-0 win. Do they get to that 3-0? I could definitely see it, Andy. But the part of the ledger that I certainly want, rather than asking them to get margin, is just ask them to win and ask this Haiti team to do what they've done all tournament long, and that's not be able to find the back of the net. So Morocco win to 0 would be the play for me.
South Korea, South Africa. I'm going to go out on a limb. Both teams to score. Neither scored against Mexico, but both scored in their other game. This could have a frantic pace where teams are pushing forward and you get some really good transition shots and opportunities. We saw this in the Colombia game. Colombia just couldn't take advantage, but once a team starts pressing late, the goals and the goal chances seem to come. So I like South Korea's style. I think they're a little bit frantic at times, which is good and bad. They can create some good opportunities, or they can turn the ball over in bad situations. So give me both teams to score plus 100. What do you think?
Yeah, and part of this game when you're handicapping it is, does South Korea have some positive regression, right? Their accuracy has just been horrible because, as I mentioned with BP, South Korea couldn't hit water falling out of a boat in that match against Mexico. Of their 9 shots, 2 of them were on target. And while maybe I'd like to say, oh, it was just bad luck, right? You look at their match day 1, they had 15 shots. Only 6 of them were on target against the Czech Republic. Like, If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. At what point is South Korea just an inconsistent and inaccurate striking team? So I don't hate that both teams to score. I think another way you could maybe attack this, there's two outcomes that South Korea is completely fine with, and that is a win or a draw. I think they're certainly better than the South African side, but as you said, I think that South Africa has done a really good job punching up in this group. They're not just going to roll over for sure. I like that both teams to score. I could see this being, maybe a 1-1 tie. So I would also do South Korea double chance, pair it with the under 2.5 goals as a little same game parlay. I can see this being a lower scoring game, but South Korea gets the result that they need. I would be pretty surprised if they lost this one outright, but they certainly could.
The Morocco game -2.5 is plus money. Not a bad look if you like the over 2.5 there. Hard to see. Yeah, hard to see them scoring. NYC Mexico game under 2.5. Not bad. Mexico games are pretty low scoring. Their defense is good.
Both of their games, Andy, have gone under 2.5. For what it's worth. Does the Czech Republic, be able to aggress against them? They definitely need to, right? Like the worry for me on betting an under in this game is Czech pressing so hard against the Mexican side that they're just kind of out there playing football, right? And this is a Mexican side that I think in 2026, they haven't had a losing result. They've had some draws sprinkled in there, but in qualification in this tournament, all they've done is win. They are in terrific form right now. And you look at some of these games, 1-0 against South Korea, 2-0 against South Africa. Sure, Mexico put up a beating on Serbia, but before that, 1-0 Australia, 2-0 against Ghana, 1-1 Belgium, 0-0 Portugal, 1-0 against Bolivia, 1-0 against Panama. So this is a team that has gone under. That under 2.5 for a game that really Mexico has nothing. That's not a horrible look. I like that actually a little bit.
All right. Did you get the Dinger Tuesday winners?
I do have the Dinger Tuesday winners. So congratulations to Amy19, Bronco Nation winning back-to-back weeks. Congratulations to Bronco Nation hitting his dingers. And then Kings Fan 27. They showed us their dingers, and they won three-day flex passes. So we'll do it again next Tuesday. Keep those comments coming, folks.
Nice. Love it. Good stuff, guys. Appreciate everyone for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck on your bets. We got a big play coming up here in a couple hours in the Canada game. So if you want to grab that, get that. There's an MLB play and a WNBA play attached to it. Good luck on your bets. We'll see everyone same time, same place tomorrow to get you ready for all Thursday's actions. Good luck and take care.